you guys? Welcome to another episode of Ask Alex, where this is a show where I take all of your questions and answer them here on this show. But on today's show, I have a special interview. I'm going to interview Miss Daffany Clark. You may have seen her in Foster's. You may have seen her in Black Lightning's Tobias Revenge. You may have even seen her in this up-and-coming movie called John Henry. Oh man, I can't wait. I'm so honored to interview you. How are you doing today, Miss Daffany?
Thank you. It is an honor to be on your show. Thank you so much. I'm doing amazing, actually.
That is good to hear. So, what I've always wanted to know, and I always ask everyone a part of the breaking through, how did you guys get started in acting, or how did you get started in acting?
Well, I don't know if you have enough time on the show, but acting has always been an escape of my real life.
Mm-hmm.
And all the roles that I've played kind of mirror everything I've been through in life. So it's been a way for me to escape what I'm going through. But God gave me this gift and this talent. And now I'm just using the platform to give back to the world. So, when God gives us a gift, it's a gift to the world. So for me, acting is it's what I was born to do, basically.
Now that's actually really good to hear because every actor that I interview essentially says the same thing, but you say it in a way where like out of birth, this is what you were called to do, and that's actually really cool, and I genuinely respect that. And I want to know, how did you get linked up with the Breaking Through group? And I say this to all of them. I say I really thought all of you guys were brothers and sisters who just decided to create this thing. Y'all live together, like, because every time I follow y'all on Instagram, y'all are always together. So how did you guys meet?
So long story short, I moved to California 10 years ago.
Uh huh.
And within the first couple of months, I went to this acting class where I met Choice.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the day like it was yesterday. It was an industry night we were performing, and someone said to me about Choice, he's a phenomenal actor. And I was like, okay, well, I'll keep my eye on him.
Mm-hmm.
So I did the scene in the acting class for the industry night, and before the scene, he gave me the best advice. He was like, just be ghetto. And I was like, ghetto? I'm not ghetto. Come on, please. And so he's like, just trust me, be ghetto. And I was like, okay, cool. So I did the scene, got a standing ovation. I was like, you're right. So we linked after that, and I said, you should probably start your own, acting studio.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked at me kind of funny. I was like, you've been training here, but you have all this knowledge to give to actors. So just start your own studio, start your own workshop. And he hit the ground running and found a space, and we started with 5 people. And over the course of 10 years, we've probably had about 10,000 actors come through there. So it's yeah.
I mean, I personally, when I see it, that's like greatness on so many levels. Because you guys have been on Foster's, Power. He was recently in an All American, and like it's just like it baffles me how you guys train in LA and you guys get these great opportunities, and you guys are amazing actors who I feel as though should have more work. And I want to talk about your career and how you got started. So what was the first like major role, whether it was a commercial or TV show or a movie, did you get?
Actually, The Fosters was the first major career move I had. I trained with Choice for 4 years, really, really hard. He was like, all you got to do is do the work, and everything else will come. And so I had the audition, and I auditioned for girl number 1 in the pilot, and not thinking anything of it. Went and auditioned, booked it. I was like, okay, great. And filmed it, and then a year later, they wrote me into the show, and so then I was on for 5 seasons, and I was like, "That's nothing but God," because my name was my name in the show, Daphne. I just spelled differently, and my storyline basically mirrored my life and all the things I've been through. So I was like, "Wow, like this right here is nothing but from God."
So it's funny that you say that because there's a scene I was just recently watching Foster's, and there's a scene where you're in prison fighting this girl, and I just want to know, like, just talking to you now, you are very nice, genuine, but in that scene, I was like, whoa, like, yo, like, there's like another side of you. So when you tap into roles like that, how do you get to that thug, that one of
Well, first of all, I'm from Chicago. Okay, so that helps. But the very first role Choice told me I was going to book was going to be a thug role, and he trained me for that with all the scenes that we did in class. So Choice has this sixth sense about people and this third eye where he can pinpoint who you are, where you're going to go, what roles you're going to get, and then he trains you to be able to be ready for them. So it was so ironic. I was working on a scene in class that he wrote from a film called We Are Family, where the sister is in prison. And, I'm this tough chick or whatever. And then the Fosters come and I book this tough chick that's in juvie. So it just was like, Choice, stop. Just tell me my future or let's not do this. Yeah. So it was crazy, and it was really, really fun doing that. So, and the thing about it is I got so much backlash from the fans because they really thought I beat her up in this scene. And I was like, please stop sending hate mail. I'm not, I didn't really beat her up. She's fine. I got so much backlash. But I'm I'm really a sweet person in real life.
You're not gonna lie, I thought it was real too because I was like, whoa, this looks very, very real. But what was it like? I want to know, what was it like just being on set with the cast and the extras and that feeling?
Oh, wow. So when I got the call that I booked it, I was told that J-Lo picked me out of all the tapes she had seen. Because she's the executive producer of it. And I was like, oh my God, for J-Lo to pick me, and now I'm going to be on set filming this. It was such a surreal moment. And I was just so grateful and just thankful, oh my God, I'm living my dream. I am truly living my dream. Not even thinking that they're going to bring me back. Just I'm going to do this role to the best of my ability and I'm going to rock it. And I did that. And so, then they wrote me into the show and I was like, okay.
Now, so I asked Choice this when I interviewed him. When he was preparing to do when he was actually running the promotion for Black Lightning's Tobias Revenge, you actually play his wife in that movie. And for a second there, I thought that when he was making that film, that was the show that the CW picked up and was actually going to, show on TV. And I wanted to ask you, have you ever had the opportunity to to audition for any CW shows like Black Lightning or All American or any of those other things since it's so close to home?
No, I haven't yet. And I say yet because the future is bright. But I feel like the role that I booked on the Fosters was so prominent, and sometimes people like to keep you in that space and not really know what to do with you after you've been in that role for so long. So I haven't had the pleasure, but it was so funny that Choice did Black Lightning, and then here comes a show that is exactly what he wrote.
Exactly.
But it wasn't the first time. He did a film called Brotherly Love, and then there was a movie called Brotherly Love, and I'm like, Choice just has this sixth sense, and he does this work, and then people, I guess the best way of what do you call it? Flattery is imitating or copying, and so people take his ideas and then they turn it into theirs, and it's like, okay, well, he's on to something, and he's just a great filmmaker, and so to answer your question, no, I have not yet auditioned, but the future's bright.
It's funny that you say that because recently, I want to say about a few weeks ago, James in Black posted the poster for Black Lightning, the one he made, and then the CW posted their version of it. And when you line them up, they look exactly the same where the characters are posted. And I was like, I was actually mad. I was like, why would you take someone else's work and you're now making a profit of it? And I actually felt really offended. I was wondering, in this industry, has that ever happened to you, or obviously in people that you know as well?
So, well, of course, this happened to Choice, but I remember auditioning for this film, and when I went in to audition, I created this standard of the role and the character, and I kind of set a precedent for that casting director, and after my audition, every time someone went in after me, they told them to do it exactly like I did it. Basically, they filmed me doing it and said, I want you to do what she did. And I'm like, wow, like there's so much power in that. There's so much power in being able to set a precedent that people have to take and copy what you've done and put it out as their own. But this industry really isn't creative on its own. That's why we have all these amazing artists that come to LA to make great films and to create new content. But sometimes, like they're remaking all these old films and old shows. It's like, let's make some new stuff. You know what I'm saying? Let's not go backwards. Let's move forward. So I think it's just, it's flattering that people want to copy it, but I think people should just do their own work and be more.
Now, I did have one other Black Lightning question is that when you were playing Choice's wife, was it very, or ex-wife, was it very awkward having that scene with him where you were basically telling him, like, I really don't care what you're doing, you're putting our daughters in danger? Like, it seemed like you were to me, if I didn't know y'all, it seemed like y'all were, it looked like y'all were really divorced and angry at each other. Like, and how do you guys build up that rapport of, something like that?
Joyce and I have been rocking for 10 years strong, and it's just the bond that we have developed over that time frame that's unbreakable. And the connection that we have is something out of this world. We have so much mad love and respect for each other. And so just to be on his set, he makes you feel so comfortable. He allows you to be free as an artist. And so I trust him. You know what I'm saying? He's helped mold my career and get me to where I am. So for me, it was very easy to connect with him and to work alongside of him. And, whatever the material was, we just made it come to life because we have that much of a connection. You know what I mean? And that's, people ask me that all the time. And I'm like, little do you know, darling.
Yeah, because, you guys were playing off each other like y'all just knew, like you guys were so in sync, and it was really cool. And for a second there, obviously if I didn't know any better, I really thought that like Black Lightning was real. You guys were angry at each other. I was just like, dang, like these guys are good. But it's funny, I've noticed, I was watching this one, I don't know, I'm not sure if it was a show or a movie, but it was called Rebel, and you played cop number 1. And in that show, in that performance, you're like a tough cop as well, which I've noticed in some of your roles, you have that tough demeanor. Is that a strength for you? Is that something you just go to, or is that something that was just for that role that was called for?
Again, I'm from Chicago. And that is part of who I am. I think a lot of times we put a little bit of who we are in our work, in our roles and characters. So for me, when I first got to LA, I was this green, naive, young spring chicken that just was like, I'm ready, I'm here, somebody cast me. And over the 10-year span I've been here, I've had to develop that toughness, that hard skin. And so for me, that's just a go-to for when I need to do a certain role or I need to portray a certain character. So it's an easy thing to grab out of my arsenal now. Before it wasn't, because I want to be sweet and nice and approachable and this and this and that. But sometimes you have to flip it on people and give them what they don't expect. So that's kind of what I've developed.
I wanted to ask you about auditioning. So Choice tells this story where he got one role where he had to play a thug. So he walks into the audition like he's an actual thug. He was like, listen, I don't shake people's hands. And he does the audition as a thug. And then once he books the role, he walks back to the casting director and says, guys, that's not my real demeanor. I'm really nice, this, that, and the third. Have you ever had to do that in auditioning where you immediately, when you're there, you're in character, and then once you get the role, you tell them, hey, this is not really me. This is a different side of me. This is just the character I'm portraying.
All the time. So with People really think I walk around LA with cornrows and beat people up. People, I'll be like, that is not me. I am not Queen Latifah from Set It Off. Just understand. But I auditioned for Rebel, and it was for a man or a woman they were casting for. And so when I went in to audition for John Singleton, rest his soul, he was amazing to work with. I immediately went into the role. I was like, I was winning the room as the role. And then he was like, ooh, after the audition, he said, ooh, I'm scared of you. And then I'm like, you better be. And then I immediately came out of it. I'm like, I'm not really hurt. Like, you know, I'm a nice person, you know. And he's like, no, I like that. I like that. You can flip it. And I was like, yeah, I can. So, you know, I've done that before, but sometimes you have to explain to people, I am not this role all the time. Right. I can give it to you when you need it, and I can turn it off, you know? So I've had to do that.
Now, I can't wait to talk about this new movie you got coming out called John Henry. You're in this movie. Ludacris is in this movie. I forget it. The main actor, Terry Crews. Terry Crews is in this movie. I just want to know because I know it hasn't come out, so you can't really talk about what it's about per se. But I wanted to know what it was like just being on set with these mega stars.
Oh my God! So I remember the scene we shot all together, and they were like, "So you're going to be on set with both of these guys, and they've seen your audition tape already." And I'm like, oh, okay. So, I'm not nervous, but I'm anxious to just be on set and to do the scene and to work alongside them because, you know, their reputation precedes them and mine does too. So I'm like, okay, like I'm with the big dogs right now and I got to bring it. So it was, I'm not going to give too much away, but there's one scene, right, where they're telling me I have to shoot this gun. And the area we are in LA is not where you can go in the backyard and shoot guns, right? And so it's in the hood. It's in the hood, right? And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, well, can I go out in the backyard and, you know, test it and fire a few rounds? They're like, no, you can't. You're just going to shoot it. And I'm like, wait, what? So the safety guy on set, right, comes to me. He's like, so be careful how you shoot this because the bullet can ricochet off the wall and hit you in your eye. Right before we shoot the scene. And I'm like, thanks for that knowledge that I really didn't want to know before I go into the scene. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to shoot it and see what happens, right? I'm not going to give too much away. But the first time I shot it, it was the most hilarious thing in my life that I've ever experienced. And I'm like so embarrassed that it's Terry Crews and Ludacris. And I'm like, oh, why can't I just go in the backyard and shoot this gun? So we had a really fun time on set, and you know, just to work with them and you know what I mean. It was an amazing.
Now, I was gonna ask, did they give you real bullets or bullets that are like fake?
Fake bullets, but if it ricochets off the wall and hits you in your eye, you're going to be blind. I'm not chancing it. I don't care if it's a real bullet or a fake bullet. I'm not dying. I'm not dying today.
Now, well, if you can't answer this, what character do you play in this movie?
So I play a character named Savage.
Okay.
And it's similar to the roles I've played in the past on the Fosters, but I play. I'm part of Ludacris's camp.
Right.
He plays a gang leader, so I'm part of that camp. Without giving too much of it away. And so they have this big tattoo on my face with my name on it, and I'm like, really? This is what we doing? Big old Savage. I'm like, okay, let's do this. So I remember before we shot the scene with Luda and Terry. The writer comes up, and I did not know it was the writer, and I was in full character mode, and I'm like, yo, well, he was like, so, you know, who are you? And I'm like, who wants to know? Like, I'm in full mode, right? He's like, the writer of this, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, let me get out of this role. I'm like, I'm just in character. He's like, no, that's good. I'm like, who? Because once you put me in a role, I'm in that. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm in that from the time I hit set to the time they say rap.
Right.
So, I can cut it on and off, but a lot of times I'd like to stay in it because it brings more to the table. So.
That is actually really cool. I can't wait to watch the movie because the recent trailer that I saw, where I actually saw you in the trailer, I was like, oh my God, like this is so surreal. Like I can't wait to see it. Now this is gonna be in is it a wide release theaters or just
So yeah, it's in select theaters and it's also digital. It's going to be at the Arena Cine Lounge in Hollywood, starting January 24th, and then it's going I think till January 30th or 31st, and then they have several time slots that you can go and see it. So I'm probably going to just go and see it on Friday myself, and probably get a group of people to go just to kind of support it. I'm just promoting it, and I'm just really excited about it because it's something that I really enjoy doing. And I believe it was like 2 years ago we shot it, we filmed it, and now it's coming out. And so I'm just like, oh my God, I just cannot wait to see it. It was the best experience in a very long time.
Oh, did they give you a chance to watch the film before they put it out?
Nope.
Oh wow! So you don't even know what's going to happen.
I'm going to be watching with everyone else. I'm going to be like, Lord, please let him take the best shot. Hope they use the best shot.
Now, is Terry Crews really that big in person? Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Let me tell you, he's a giant to the world, but he's such a sweetheart. He's such a nice guy. But yeah, that whole, his image is real. Yeah.
That's actually really cool. So now I wanted to ask you, it's kind of like a two-part question. The first part question, what are the future plans that we'll see you in, whether it's TV, web series, or movies that either you're developing or you might be just being in?
So I'm going to be doing a one-woman show this year.
Oh.
Yes. It chronicles my life and why I became an actress. And it's kind of a combination of Split the movie and Sybil. I don't know if Sybil is the original Split. So if you ever see Split, that is the most recent, where the guy plays like 10 different people.
Right.
It is basically the same thing as Sybil that came out in, I believe, 1970s or 1980s. So I'm going to be playing several different people in this one-woman show. And so I'm really excited about it. I'm writing it myself, developing it myself. So that's one big thing that I'm going to accomplish this year. I'm also going to be in an action film coming up. And, whatever God sees fit for me to be in next, I'm just kind of letting him take the lead and I follow and go from there. So I'm really excited. Choice, of course, also always has so many different projects in the works, and so I'm always a part of those, whether I'm behind the scenes helping or I'm actually in front of the camera. We've built a community, as you know, with the Breaking Through Acting Workshop, and so we use each other, and we're a community of creatives and artists that just love what we do and just want to make moves.
Amen. I can't wait to see that. Now the second part of that, which you kind of somewhat answered, was I was going to ask, have you all, as a community, as the Breaking Through Acting Workshop community, decided to put out a project together? I know that Choice is working on the, what's that film? Henry's Courage.
Yes.
Henry's Courage. He's working on that. And are you involved in that? And is the rest of the Breaking Through? Or are you guys planning on doing something separate from that as a group?
Both. Both, to answer your question. The majority, I can say a good amount of the people that are in the class are actually a part of Henry's Courage, but everyone in the class is going to be helping out in some way, whether it's on set, behind the scenes. We always use each other in the sense of, like, if somebody writes something, then someone else is going to shoot it, and then Choice directs it. So directs it. So he's also working on some stuff. I can't really say, but he has some stuff. I can't really divulge too much, but him and I are going to be working closely together on a lot of things that he wants to see for the class, and different things that he can just do for the community of artists that are a part of that. His brain is always 10 steps ahead of the game. Even though he's probably have 10 projects already on the shelf, he has 10 more projects he's working on in his mind. So there's a lot for us to do, a lot to be done. And I'm excited, to see what the future holds. But everybody in the class, I can say this round, because there's been so many different years of people coming through there. But this has to be the most proactive community that we've had in the Breaking Through Acting Workshop, where people are actually taking their careers in their own hands, and they're doing their own content. They're developing their own stuff, which is really genius. You know what I'm saying? Because now we're in an age of like social media, and, it's not how it was 10, 20 years ago. It's, people are being discovered off social media alone. So, it's really important that we just take an interest in ourselves.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned that a lot of people are creating their own content, and that was my last question to you. And by the way, you can tell me what Choice is doing off camera. We won't. I'm joking. But what projects are you going to be focusing on or working on that you are developing? I know you told me you're doing the one woman show that you're developing, but is there anything like you'll be doing independently that you'll put out on the internet or like?
So the one woman show that I'm doing, I'm actually going to turn it into a film.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So once I do it on stage, because I just think stage is so intimate, and you can really feel and give that energy back and forth. And I just want to put it on stage first, just to see how it does. But I'm definitely going to turn it into a film so it can actually be international and universal, and everybody can see it. But I do have some ideas. I want to direct. I just have this passion to want to direct a film. I don't know if I can direct it and star in it and do that. Those are a lot of hats. And so for me, I sometimes just want to be the talent, and sometimes I want to, be the boss behind the scenes. But to mesh those is going to be interesting. But I have some ideas that I want to develop. So we'll see. My mind is always churning, and I'm just trying to figure out the next level of my artistry and what will challenge me and what will, just take me to a whole new level with everything. So.
Now, I actually found one other thing. My last question was going to be so on Instagram you do a lot of workout videos, and I just wanted to know, how often do you work out? Because when I started following you, I was like, do you work out every day, like every single day?
I work out probably 4 to 5 times a week. I work out, by myself, but I also have a trainer. I just want to be in the best shape of my life because throughout my life, I've had, up and down weight issues, and I don't want to let a physicality limit me in any way. I've had, injuries and all this and this. And so, I want to be in the best shape of my life, whether I book an action film or whether I'm doing a drama or, whatever it is. I just don't want physicality to limit me in any way. So staying healthy and your health is part of your wealth. You know what I mean? So if your mind and your body and your spirit and your heart and your soul are together, then you are fully equipped to go and conquer this world.
That is actually really good. You dropping some gems. That is amazing. Because
I don't drink or smoke, right? And so I need an outlet. Right. And working out helps me burn off that energy, that stress, that whatever I'm going through, it helps me, get to a balanced place. Because LA can really, eat you up and spit you out. And so for me, I have to make sure that everything is in alignment before I enter the world so I can be the best me I can be. Otherwise, if I'm not doing well for myself, I can't do well for anyone else. Right. So I have to make sure I'm right at all times.
Now, it's funny. I had one more. I'm sorry. I said this before. This is my last question.
Ask away. I like this. This is fun.
Now, was it scary for you to move all the way to LA? Give me my own personal story. I moved all the way from Pensacola to Orlando, Florida with $1 in a dream. And I'm telling you, I'm glad that I stepped out on faith and trusted God to do that. Me and my wife are now balanced, but it wasn't always like that when we did that. Did you have that same fear when you moved all the way from Chicago to LA?
I didn't have a fear. I was anxious to move because I was miserable. I went to Columbia College and got a BFA, and graduated. I was working a regular job, living a regular life. And I was like, this is not for me. And so I prepared myself to come here and visit it first. Found a job, found an apartment, and then I went back and then moved a month later. And I was so excited to be here because it was something I've always wanted to do, and I knew it was going to be the start of a new life for me, and I was going to leave the old Daphne behind and start anew with everything. And I think it's so important that if you have a dream, for you people to step out on faith and go for it, because you only have one life. And God gives you a gift, He gives you a talent, and He gives you a purpose. And you have to walk in your purpose and give your gift to the world and have your talent as well. So they all go together. And so I feel like, for me, it wasn't a fear at all. It was more of anxiousness and just wanting to live my dream that I had trained so hard for and had worked so hard for, and coming up and living this hard life I lived and going through everything I went through. I said, it's my time to do this. And if I don't do it now, I'll never do it.
As well. But Daphne, I am so glad that I got a chance to interview you. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, thank you. I do appreciate it. Where can everybody find you on social media?
So I am on Facebook as DMC, Daphne McGarry Clark. I'm on Instagram as DaphMC29, and on Twitter at Daphne M. Clark. I have so many names. Hopefully when I get married, it just changes to one. But good luck with that in LA. Finding a mate out here. Anyway, yeah, so social media, I'm more on Instagram than anything else, but I'm all on all the platforms. Yeah, Daphne Clark.
That is amazing.
Oh, and my website, DaphneClark.com. You can catch up on all of my work, learn a little bit about me and the one-woman show I'm going to be doing this year.
That is good. And everyone, all of the people who watch my show, please go follow her and the rest of the Breaking Acting workshop, because these are some amazing actors. I plan on going to LA this year, so hopefully I get to see you guys and meet all of y'all. So I hope I get to do that, and I just want to see the class. Like, I don't want to act. I just want to see what you guys do there.
Oh, I would love that. It would be such an honor to meet you in person and just have you come and just check out the class and see all the amazing actors that we have. And it's just, life is good.
Yeah, it is.
Life is good. And God is good, all the time.
All the time.
So yeah. But no, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. This couldn't have come at a better time. And I can talk to you all day. You are in the right spot doing what you're doing. You make people feel so comfortable. And it's just like talking on the phone. It's not even really, an interview. It's just talking. So I thank you for that. Thank you.
Oh, anytime. And I would love to have all of you guys back on the show.
Yes.
I would love to have us just have one big group discussion. But thank you again so much for being on the show. Guys, please like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I pray that you guys have a blessed day. And please go see John Henry. If you're in the LA area, go check it out. And also go download it digitally once it comes out. I know I'm going to be downloading it because I can't wait to watch it. So,
me too. I'm going to travel with you. I'm going to be like, well, take that shot. Okay.
And I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. And as always, you have a blessed day.
You too, my love. Thank you.